Hello everybody, we're back to playing Football Manager 2023. It's time to hold the league, to go through pre-season and to find some improvements for the squad. Last time we were here, we were looking at finances and we had a look at upcoming loan deal for Sam Estefanios, which we got rid of, and we got a nice monthly fee, or maybe even an unused monthly fee for some financial improvements. Yeah, so now 3 players are out of the club at the moment. Estefanios here, which we get paid for at least €9 a month. Alyssa, which we get no fee for, but who didn't have a place in the squad. He's also injured right now, so I don't know if he will ever make an appearance in our squad again. And Jankovic, which we got a decent fee of €5 a month for, but with a bigger upside. And coming up is the match against GIF Sundsvall, which is yet another club playing one division above us. So we'll try to go with a defensive formation for that match. Keep in mind those are all friendlies, it's pre-season, so it doesn't matter much. Also, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Swedish First Division North, pre-season lasts a long while. Let's have a look. Oh, it's still the old one. Well, we can simply look at the training calendar. Schedule. There we are. This is where I wanted to go. It's still 2 months of nothing but training and friendlies until our first match against Sandvikens IF starts the season. And the season is rather short because the league only has 16 members. Yeah, that's it. So let's have a look what's going on, and maybe we can find some improvements for the squad along the way. So here's a report for August Talander, who is supposed to become a top player, maybe. We're using him as an inverted winger right now, which he is a natural these days in that position, but I don't see him improving that much. That said, acceleration and pace are decent, and especially his finishing as a striker in his previous main role is rather good. And Mendel's the composure improved and decisions, so he's got that going on for him, which is nice. Castoris, on the other hand, played a lot last season. Well, okay, a few matches, but didn't develop much. I don't know. Not one for this league, probably. Yeah, we should probably offload some players. Carlson is another one which we're trying to get rid of. Just to recap on that one, development isn't too bad for his role, but overall it's not looking good. And to be honest, he didn't make much of an appearance last season. It might be worth it to keep him around as a replacement. As you can see, we have a contract extension on club side, potential contract extension, but for now his wage is basically wasted. So we'll try to get rid of him. And as nobody was willing to pay any fee for him, we'll just have to get rid of the wage. Also, personality-wise, fairly loyal, is a decent personality, but it's not great. I'd prefer something along the professional line, or I don't know. Resolute, spirited. I'd even go with fickle, because it contains some ambition. But especially in lower league clubs, ambitious is a bit difficult personality, because these people are hard to hold and usually have high contract demands, wage demands. So there's Niago, Women, and Castores. New Women played the most of our last season. Not too bad, actually. On the other hand, development has been poor. For someone playing 18 matches, that's not great. Maybe our coaching isn't up to scratch either. Got a bit better this season though. So I'm probably content with 1.5 stars everywhere right now, maybe 2. Yeah, we'll see. Sarson is our main defensive midfielder. Played a lot last season, 21 matches. Also picked up a lot of yellow cards, if I remember correctly. Not sure if you can see that. No, it's already the friendlies in here. I think that history is gone. Anyway, yeah, I think he was banned 2 or 3 times. But didn't get a red card all too much, so it worked out just fine. So what have we got? Let's have a look. Too many goalkeepers, that's for sure. That said, they all are very cheap, so I'm confident that this is an acceptable level of wage for a goalkeeper position. We'll probably keep Westberg, which is right now used as a breakthrough prospect. So we could sign another player, which is our main goalkeeper. On the other hand, I'm not too concerned about, generally speaking, about Westberg's ability. Those are really good stats. Aerial reach is crap, but the rest is acceptable, at least for the amount of wages I'm willing to pay. Those 2 are emergency backups. Well, if I have a choice, I'd love to keep Women here and get rid of Castores. That's it. Nobody wants him. So maybe we have to go the other way around. Women did a solid job last season. And as you can see, there are weaknesses, but he's not really bad in something. Well, anticipation isn't great, but he didn't make that much of a mistake last season, or didn't make many mistakes. Castoris here didn't play that many games. He has the better stats actually compared to women, at least in his role as a goalkeeper. Yeah. So, seen from that perspective, women is the one we should get rid of. Let's try that. Maybe someone is willing to sign him, I don't know. To be honest, in this wage area, I'd be happy just to get rid of the wage and to earn no fees. On the other hand, every euro counts. And well, Niago is just a youth player. Something's beeping in the kitchen. I'll have to pause this for a second. I'll be back. Well, to add some context, we just moved here and it looks like, or sounds like, the new dishwasher wants to communicate that it has finished its job. And, well, I had to silence it. So, where was I? Yeah, Niago. As you can see, he's got some weaknesses. He's okay-ish in some areas, and he's also 19 years old. Preferably, I'd like him to have some match practice. I also noticed that part of the squad is not happy with me having 2 goalkeepers. So preferably, I'd like to have 3, but not actually for the reasons that one would think. I just need 3 goalkeepers, so the other players stop moaning about a lack of depth in the goalkeeping position. In reality, I'd usually recall the next best goalkeeper from loan, but I don't know. According to the players in my squad, that doesn't count. So yeah, we'll try to get rid of anyone that we deem surplus here, and if the players start moaning again, maybe we'll sign some cheap replacement on a non-contract or something, preferably with a good personality, just to keep them around and to keep the rest of the players happy. Alright, that's goalkeeper position. Wingback right. There's Eden Shabanach. That's a name. Yeah. I probably butchered that real hard. But Eden is okay-ish. We play with wingbacks in defensive mode and attacking mode usually. That flair is great. He made 20 appearances last season, had 3 assists. That's not groundbreaking, but he certainly, well, at least last season in the fourth league, I think in Sweden, where we were, he had acceleration and pace to bring some crosses in and to open some space. So I think I can hold on to him. There is one problem, and that is the promise that I just saw. Where is it? Let's go here, promises. The moment I signed him, I had to promise him that we will improve training facilities, which, to be honest, we won't be able to afford. I can ask the board as much as I want. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, so that's a problem. At some point during the season, he will get annoyed. I don't know, give me a second. Well, 243 days. I think that's at the end of the next season. So, yeah, I'm not too worried. But he will never fully support me, probably. Sandro Moraes da Silva was in the club when I took over management. He's got a long contract for real cheap. Is declared as a fringe player, so he won't moan too much about it playing time. Made a lot of appearances last season for a fringe player and did decently. Same here. Crossing is fine, acceleration and pace are good. He can open up some space. Mentals aren't great, but on the other hand, as the player ages, mentals will probably improve by themselves. He doesn't have that much of flair, so this is my go-to wing back in defensive situations on the right side. But he's not great at that either. I don't know. There's not much of a difference between those two. We can look at that contract again. Maybe it's worthwhile to increase contract length here. Maybe include a clause in case we get relegated. Yeah. So I usually tend to plan for a bad situation too. In this case, the fact that there is no relegation wage drop clause, I don't like that much. There are moments when one gets relegated. It's probably unpopular on stream, but I think one should plan ahead for that. It's just a part of risk management. You can always get rid of a player that's unhappy after you get relegated and his wage dropped significantly. But it's better if you have the options in your hand. Let's try and find out what he wants to be right now. And just to be sure, at the moment he's a squad player. So we'll have to resolve that. Squad player, yeah. Even though I agree he'll probably a regular starter. Well, if we don't find someone better, that is. Yeah, I'll try to keep the demand a bit lower. Yeah, he's happy with squad player. That's fine. He's got a good personality. Fairly or a decent personality. Fairly professional is okay. So on a long-term basis, I can certainly see that 21-year-old remaining in the squad. I don't want to get rid of him, that's for sure. And that wage demand is great, because now we can try to lower his wage and give him a long-term contract instead. So let's see. I think 15 he'll probably be annoyed very soon, but maybe we can agree on 20 and not pay any bonuses. Especially not the yearly wage raise. The promotion wage raise, I usually include that. Let it run up a little bit. Not after promotion. I prefer the one, the extension by club. That said, some players are really allergic to that clause, and they hate it. Some of those accept clauses that are determined by other factors. So, for example, after league games final season is a clause that you have control over if the clause will be fulfilled or not. You just don't feel the player anymore. Yeah, and in his case, we're talking about 25, so he'll be 23 at that time. For resale value, I'd consider him to be, let's say, a good investment. If he's not injured, I think 10 games will be acceptable for a 1 year extension in the final season. If he makes fewer games than that, well, honestly, I don't care. Okay. Let's just get rid of that again. I don't care about those. He's moaning about the wage. Well. The relegation wage drop, maybe we can further negotiate that later on. That's the wrong one. Contract extension after league games. And performance-wise, I have absolutely no problem with a clean sheet bonus. That's, well, as long as it's not completely out of the line. Yeah, no. You'll get your $20 and nothing more. The entire reason for this negotiation is that I want to save money. That relegation wage drop isn't important. You might notice he's moaning about the wage in this negotiation. He's not moaning about the contract extension. So those €5 difference per week are more important to him than a contract extension. There are players that really hate contract extensions. League games, by club. And we'll keep the loyalty bonus in, just for him to agree, maybe increase it even. There we go. Now he agrees to the 20. We drop that one. We keep the wage raise in case of promotion. We'll have another negotiation later on. Actually, I don't want that. Increase that one a little bit. And make it non-negotiable. Let's see if he accepts. No, he doesn't. So that was too much, probably. Maybe I should have taken one of those two. Or, I don't know, gave him the 5% wage raise. To be honest, it's not that much money. Oh, he didn't want to get loaned out. You're not going on loan, okay. Well, if he wants to stick around, great. Looks like women won't go out on loan. But the other two probably will. Okay. Defender on the right side will keep. Wickberg, I would be willing to part with Wickberg. On the other hand, he's got a really long contract. It's really cheap. Solid stats for a central defender. And a lot of flexibility, because he can drop in as a replacement for Asarson, I think was the name. Yeah, Asarson. And go as a defensive midfielder, and in emergency situations I can even play him as a box-to-box or something, even though I don't think it's a good idea. But yeah, I would be willing to part with him, but only for a very reasonable fee. I don't think that that's realistic. Only weakness is his personality, which is fairly sporting. I'm not convinced that's a good idea as a squad personality contribution. There's Farah. We already talked about Stolt and Farah last time, and we lost another player there. Something with O. I forgot the name. Where is he? Where's transfer history? There. Ortela, that's it. Ortela went out for free, but he was on a non-contract, so nothing to complain about. But yeah, another wingback probably is a good idea, left-sided. As you can see, he's decent, but not great. That said, I'm always happy to have a wingback that has acceptable long throws, and 9 points is acceptable for my taste at this level of play. The same can't be said for Stolt, which is, as you can see, not a good player, but not a really bad one either. And he's 27, one of our senior members, if you want to call it that way. I'll keep him for the time being. Nobody came to sign him just yet. So, well, that's defense. We probably need a replacement for central defender. Now let's have a look on the U19 before. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a central defender in here. I'm not convinced of the player trade dives into tackles on a central defender. For my taste, it's much too aggressive. But as an emergency replacement, it will do. That said, he's not. That's a 16-year-old. That's a kid. He can't play first team. But for 1 or 2 matches, it will probably suffice. There's another central defender here who's really, really bad. But got spirited personality. I hope that one of those two will at least develop to, I don't know, an emergency backup or something. We might have a look anyway. If there is a central defender that we're fond of. There we go. So recommendation says those two. Runberg will probably be much too expensive. Yeah, I don't see that happening. This one is wanted by a lot of other clubs too. Well, for also horrible trade for a central defender. I don't know. Reminds me of Martin Hinteregger. It requires a very special kind of tactic to make that work. That guy, for an 18-year-old, on 20 bucks. Well, it's not bucks, it's euros. That's not too bad. What's his role in his squad right now? We don't know. So, FK Karlskrona play in whatever that league is. Gotland South, Gotland North, West. So it should be the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Ola Nelson is probably fine as a emergency replacement. Maybe we can get him on loan or something. I don't know. That said, the ones here, I don't like those. If a player has a very low stats in something, I usually see that as a sign of a lack of ability or potential. But he's young, so maybe he develops to something. That one was fun. It was scouted by our child hunting focus, which is just another way to say we're looking for young players. Very low strength. Not gonna happen. And this one, not bad. And also not too expensive. As a central defender, that wouldn't be a bad choice, I think. Let's have a look at the stats again. So, first of all, right-footed. As a wingback, he would actually be acceptable too as an emergency replacement. I don't think we'll use him that way, but it's good to know that, well, the other two have a backup in line. So that would cover that position too. Same for the left side. I'd probably play him as an inverted wingback. And he's on a non-contract. Maybe he's not interested in discussion. He's not fully convinced. Well, as a breakthrough prospect, you don't have to be fully convinced. But yeah, that's the right role for my taste. And this is fantastic. So now that he wants a non-contract for €3 a week, obviously we don't want that. The player is too good for that contract. And I'm very excited to offer him €6 per week for 2 years. If we can add that later with an additional contract extension of 1 year. So he says we are so close to an agreement. I don't want to botch it here, but I think we can just force him. Contract extension after league games. It's just in the final season. I don't care. So we want to force that contract extension by club. Here we go. So he's fine with it. That's not saying he will make the switch, but it's a, well, for him it's a really poor contract considering his ability. Fantastic. That's what I always do. I negotiate a second time and include a relegation wage drop, or renegotiate the stuff I don't want to keep in. Injury release clause they usually don't take, but well, if we, let's say he makes more than 15 appearances in the final season, so assuming here there's some sort of progression here, to face him with another contract extension. Let's have a look if he takes that. Yeah, he doesn't care. Nice. So now we've got a player that is acceptable level attribute-wise for a central defender who can play emergency wingback on the right side, or maybe defensive fullback or something, as you can see. And he's bound to us for at least 3 years, maybe 4. And if we get relegated, we pay him €3 a week. So basically nothing. Also, I mean, if it doesn't work out, or if we move up the leagues too fast, which I don't see coming anytime soon, we can just loan him out. On a completely unrelated note, there's always a bunch of users in my Twitch stream chat. Nobody's watching, but well, I guess there are some bots that are hanging out in chat with me. Sadly, none of those bots is willing to chat. So maybe if you see this and watch this after I streamed, you're welcome to hang around once I'm live. I'd be happy to interact with viewers, but well, there's nobody here. And considering we already scratched that topic-wise, I might introduce a schedule for streaming, for streaming maybe too. No, for streaming sometime soon. I don't know. For the time being, I'd probably try to stream daily, but we'll see. It also depends a bit on demand, I guess. I can change my sleep schedule. I can't change, I don't know, when you guys are able to watch. Spirited head of youth development. That actually doesn't look too bad. I'd really like a professional in youth development, but Spirited isn't the worst personality. What's the other one? Fairly loyal. Well, he won't be the one, that's for sure. As you can see, I didn't really look at the stats. That said, that one isn't bad either. Well, okay, for coaching, he's not that great. But that's some 18, 24. Yeah, he'll probably be good enough for our youth team. And considering we're we're not broke, but we're going for cheap stuff, he probably won't sign for us. Maybe because he's Albanian, he doesn't cost that much. But no, 425, not gonna happen. But this reminds me that we could have a look for another head of youth development. First of all, we can place an advertisement, and maybe we find a head of youth development here just by having a look at our knowledge base. And we would need a head of youth development that is currently employed and that agrees to much lower wages. So in case of that one, he only has balanced personality. There's nothing to write home about in his coaching stats. Working with youngsters is great, but player ability and potential are really, really bad. And just for the fun of it, I try to sign him. Yeah, he would be very cheap, but I don't want him. I probably regret that. That one has a too high wage right now. Dennis Soyquist, unambitious, not gonna happen. And that's it. Okay, so another way to look at this, sometimes this works. General nationality, nation of birth is fine too. There is no is not option here. Okay. There's nationality. Nationality is not Swedish. So this will probably go down as the number one popular tactic to sign stuff. But there's two good reasons to do this. On one hand, I'm managing a club in Sweden, so scouting knowledge somewhere else is useful. Doesn't matter if it comes with a scout. The know-how can also come in with a head of youth development. In that case, Norway, I think, won't be of much use to us because where's the coverage? Scouting center? No. There it is. Well, knowledge. We already have knowledge of Norway. There it is. And do we know where it comes from? Nationswide, maybe? Norway. One of our scouts is Norwegian. Anyway, so that covers that. We don't need another Norwegian squad member. Well, seen from that perspective. The other part is probably highly unpopular, but foreign staff tends to be less expensive. Not in all cases, but in some. Especially if I don't know, maybe they're all from Norway here. Looks like it. But yeah, especially stuff from in some areas from Africa or something tend to be really cheap in some cases. Problem is you don't know about that stuff, especially in Sweden. Yeah, but those all look like they are from Norway. Okay, so maybe I was talking out of my butt the entire time. Let's have a look personality-wise. That one is fairly professional. Ability and potential judging are actually real bad. But okay. So Ericsson could be an idea. Let's add him for a month. Fairly ambitious. Well, I don't want to include a lot of ambitious squad members, but considering the difference in judging player ability and potential, spirited is okay. I think that's the one that had too much contract demands. Very sporting. Fairly determined. Nope. Again, that one maybe. Testing, Sirgund, Kokstad, and Söjen. No, seriously, pronunciation, I don't know. And unambitious. So now on the staff shortlist, we have a lot of heads of youth development. It's really annoying that personality doesn't display in the pop-up. 4, 5. We need mental attributes. So ability, actually, I don't care. Obviously, those stats are both bad, but I'd rather have a head of youth development that judges potential correctly than ability. A player can always develop, well, to some degree in this crap of a club, but yeah. 160 on the other hand, I'm not willing to pay. So maybe I should have gone with the balanced guy before. That's better. Free. Yeah, we can always negotiate and come back later and say, oops, sorry, we don't want you. Yeah, let's try to go for 25. No? I offer you again 25. Well, we can sell for 30, yeah. That's okay. And we'll include that one later. Okay. Perfect. Oh, that's too much. Okay. So we have to go in smaller steps. No, okay. 25 is exactly the limit. Fine. So, given that he's only free, and well, he's working with youngsters is great, but coaching stats are crap too. I'll try to find another one that agrees to similar conditions. That one, for example. 4 or 5. Its coaching is even worse. And he's what? Spirited. Well, okay. Let's try to sign him for 25 too. Come on. Alright. For him it's 32. Same conditions. Alright, and then there's Tom Fagerfall. I actually think I will go with the spirited guy, just personality wise. Where is he? Oh man. I'll compare him with Dolaker. There he is. It's a bit doubtful which of them both, which is the worst of both. But yeah, as I said, I probably stick to personality. That or this guy is much cheaper, which I don't think will happen. Yeah, okay. So we'll withdraw that contract offer. Colin Nordin, okay. Shortlisted, or where do we get? Yeah, he was shortlisted, but we were unwilling to afford the wage. 9. I won't sign that guy. Well, I would be willing to sign him, but he's 28. History, injuries. Well, that's alright. And also, well, that estimated wage, I'm not unwilling. I'm unwilling to pay that. It's as simple as that. Same goes for this guy. That it had to be a model professional leading player for me to pay that wage. Yeah, okay. What's his main position? Winger, left side. So he would be able to. Nah. There is some. Don't know him. Don't care. In all honesty, I think those two traits are a waste of trade space on him, if you want to put it that way. Also, he's 24, and well, slightly expensive. Don't want to pay that. Nope, I won't even have a look. Same here. Circa. Nah. And, well, this one, we have enough keepers. Actually, we have to keep those keepers, probably, so, yeah. I don't think that'll do. So, this has been going on for an hour now. We still didn't do half of a squad. Typical Football Manager stuff. It just takes a very long time to siphon through all of your players and to assess capabilities and options. For example, Bjornsson here. We have somebody willing to take him out on loan. Generally speaking, that's great. Same for Arberg. I honestly, I don't know how this A is pronounced in Swedish, so maybe it's Aberg. I'm not sure. Or Arberg, Aberg, whatever. He already was on loan last season. Didn't develop much. Well, slightly, but from that strength, actually, there's nothing to go but up, but upwards. So yeah, that or sideways. I signed that guy for the long shots actually. Back when I signed him, but he didn't really make much of an appearance in the first team. Well, 8 times, but those were short. Usually as a came from the bench, and I think he's a future prospect. Yeah. So in this case, as we've got here an option, a contract extension of 2 years, I really think we can deal without him. We can still recall him. He's 21. He needs playtime. So I think I agree. We should get rid of him. And given that 4 different clubs are interested, we'll try to be greedy and make some money. I don't think... What the hell? Okay. That doesn't work. Great. We'll be greedy and try to make some money. I don't care where he plays, honestly. But we can always recall him. That's good. Well, if we get him out on loan. Malte Eggman, I'm not sure. That guy. So this one's a bit of a problem. He's got a good personality. I like the distribution of his physicals. As we're playing with one striker and a shadow striker behind him. That said, vision is okay, but passing is really, really poor. So for me, he's playing something in between a target forward and a deep lying forward. As a target forward, he's, well, okay-ish, would be acceptable. But as a target forward, he's not dominant enough. He needs, I don't know, 1 or 2 points in all attributes. On the other hand, as a fairly professional player, his personality indicates that he will develop if there is some potential left. And as you can see, well, for the time being, he didn't develop much. He did get some appearances from the bench. Yeah. We need to have a look if he develops. But if he develops, he's on a non-contract, and that's bad. But he's really cheap. So what are we going to do with that guy? Probably keep him around until he develops at least a tiny bit. And well, the risk is we'll lose him. We'll see. But he won't be first team player anytime soon, as long as Bob keeps coming back from injury. And I think we still got Robertson here, who people would actually be willing to loan. So that could be a way to get rid of some wages. And in his case, I'm not really against him in any way. He actually played a lot of last season after Bob got injured, and absurdly enough, he didn't manage to score while Bob was around. But after Bob was gone, he scored, well, every second game basically. So performance-wise, I'm really happy with that player. But we could also loan him out, get rid of the wage, and have a look for another striker. Also, we only need 2, and this is one of those that well, the strength is decent, but maybe someone's willing to pay real good monthly contributions for him. So why not get rid of him and find someone else? Well, a wage, probably. We won't find a replacement for €6 a week. Or will we? So we need a striker. Someone like this guy. Wage demand is much too high, but that scouting report may be old. Maybe he reduced his demands. No, he didn't. As a star player and stuff, no. So he's too good. Pressing forward target for Nigerian. For 30 a week. A target forward that knocks ball past opponent. I'm not convinced. And we don't know about the rest. Strength is really bad. I mean, that's not great. Oh, okay. Acceleration and pace are great, to be honest. It's just that he won't play in that role in my team. We could obviously go with a pressing forward on support duty maybe, but his passing isn't great either. So yeah, maybe pressing forward defend duty isn't that bad of a choice. But wage demands are nah. Wage demands are much too high, and I won't replace Mboob anytime soon. So no. Well, we'll see. Given that Kulafich, I hope that's how it's pronounced. I honestly have no idea. Given that he's on a non-contract, we'll probably go with Robertson as a second striker, as a replacement for Mboob, and just keep him around for no wage for the time being. The rest, Dobrev maybe we can loan. No, he's on a non-contract. Bergman is a regular starter. I'll probably keep him. He's a bit on the for my taste. He's a bit on the expensive side for the squad, but that's okay. And if you're wondering why I'm pondering about finance that much, I like to play this game more as a financial simulation too. It is possible to achieve good results and accept an acceptable financial result too at the same time. That usually means to be very prudent about your spending. And as a small club, there's not much income you can generate. So the sponsorship deal is our biggest source of income, if I'm not mistaken. It comes in at the start of the season. And for the rest of the season, we're basically living on that budget. If we can hold on to that budget, I'd say that's not good. That's our effort to be greedy, right? Nah, I'd rather keep him around as a replacement, if this is all they're willing to offer. No. In all honesty, his development is not my problem. If I need him for, I don't know, 10 games, maybe, that's very worthwhile, because for €6 a week, I can keep that player. And maybe if he makes a few appearances, loan offers come around a second time, and this time they will be much improved. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So we'll have a friendly today. Given that the squad has been a bit diminished, I think we should get most of them match fit for the season. I'm more concerned about the lack of friendlies going forward. We'll have to schedule some. And I know I don't do that on an automatic basis. This is wonderful. Fantastic. So this contract is basically what we can dream of. Very cheap, not on a non-contract, but on a real contract. The player is acceptable in his stats. 20-year-old, good development potential. Actually, where was he? Let's be honest, I don't know any of those clubs. I don't know Sweden good enough. But here, at least we can have a look here. I don't know what that is. BK Häcken. That's Premier Division, okay. Swedish Premier Division isn't bad, right? So yeah, he was a youth prospect, I guess, in a Premier Division club, and moved down the leagues a bit recently. Had a lot of games for the last 2 seasons. I mean, performances weren't great, but they weren't really strictly bad either. And we get him on a contract that is really good for you, for us. In Germany, we call this Knebelvertrag. It's I just looked it up. In English, I guess this is called an adhesion contract. So doesn't offer him much wiggle room. It's all with the club. Also, if we get fired at some point, we know which player we're going to buy, because he's used to a contract that is really cheap, and he will start moaning immediately. Well, maybe. But okay. So here's our replacement for 2 positions. Without any obvious weaknesses for his role. In this case, I probably prefer jumping reach and strength. And that's not a U19 player. Come to the senior squad, please. Okay, do we have mentoring groups? Probably. Central defender, we have one. He's got no traits, just like everyone else in here. Well, stays back at all times is a good trait for a central defender. If Nogoma gets it, his ability to play wing back on attacking duty will be a bit diminished, but I'm not too concerned. I signed him as a center back. You can also see that I merged the other wing backs in here, but only the ones that didn't have professional personality, for fear of what's his name? Shabanai. Yeah. For fear of Shabanai losing his fairly professional personality, because he's the youngest, and so he's not very influential. Obviously, I can't sign him as an important player or something, but his ability doesn't reflect that. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, going forward, I can use him for mentoring groups and introduce a bit more professionalism into the squad. For the time being, I can't. So I'll put those 2 keepers in here. Maybe I'll use the keepers as field players, but yeah. Don't think so. Too many goalkeepers in this squad. I don't know if the U19 can field. Let's have a look at this. Maybe the U19 can field goalkeepers that are over 19. Well, there's no fixture planned anyway. So let's go with it. Let's go to the team, to the match first and foremost. Okay, so the opposition is playing very creative. 4-3-3. Mentally and technically, that guy is superior. But I see as it comes at some risk. His bravery is bad. His jumping reach and his strength are average. So supposedly, if he gets a foot in the face, or maybe some sticks into his gears, he'll fall probably very easily, which is a good and bad at the same time. So we'll try to tight mark him, obviously. He's also right-footed, so let's show him on his weaker foot. And tackle him hard, and just rotate central defenders. So maybe one will pick up a yellow card after 30 minutes, another one after another 30 minutes, and we can just rotate players in. It's a friendly after all. Don't know much about this guy, only that he's fast. So in this kind of formation, I usually want to close down those three. One of those two will probably be a passer. In this case, given that they are have a stronger, are part of a stronger league, there's a killer ball player, and he distributes ball to wide areas. That's the same. And he tries first-time shots. Okay, which he's got a technique for, but his finishing and long shots aren't that great. So in this case, I will try to press that one with his first-time shots and decent passing, sadly. And I will try to tight mark that one. His off-the-ball rating isn't that great either, while his is very good. So assuming I tight mark William Lind, he'd probably get away from it anyway. Also, for tight marking, he's a real bad opponent to be tight marked due to his strength and jumping reach. He will probably win most physical duels. So yeah, that's it. And this guy, average. That's a lot of instructions, so probably enough for my team. I don't think it will all work out, but we'll have to wait and see. And obviously try to counter and play on the defensive side. Cool. Okay. Two players motivated. Sorry. Okay. It's something. Is it raining or snowing? I can't tell. Probably rain. It's actually one of the tiny things that I miss about the old football. No, there it is. Heavy snow. -1 degree. Great. I have no idea what this is in freedom units. Okay. Well, yeah, it's freaking cold. There's our first corner of the match. And so far, 8 minutes, we seem to be doing fine. Probably the wrong decision. I think, well, it's gone. One of my players, I think it was Robertson, offered a good passing opportunity for that header, but he chose to go for goal directly. As well, no, it's always the wrong decision if the ball isn't in the net. So it's easy complaining. That would have been a great combination if he got to that ball. That's it. Second corner is fine. We'll see how this goes. In it goes. Great. And after 21 minutes, it looks like we're well in control. Well, we're not in control of the game possession-wise, but considering the scoring, that's good. And the opponent know what the possession is. Is there a way to see? Come on. Is there a way to see possession here? Pass map. Not really. Well, I was looking for a heat map. I remember there were some. Is it a passing map? Let's have a look. Pass map. No, it isn't. But you can already guesstimate it from this map. Most of the passes are going through Pichka, but it's in the midfield. So let's see. Who's Pichka? Momentum? No, I don't care about momentum. Definitely not. Do we have a shot map here? I'm not sure. This is it. Yeah. Yeah, so Pichka. Oh, that's a defensive midfielder. Yeah, they can pass to the defensive midfielder all they want. I don't care. Wow. Okay, maybe I should care due to his passing, but I wouldn't want to man mark that guy due to his physicals. Actually, that's a really good player for my league. For them, it's a really well-rounded, I guess. And as you can see, the opponent doesn't create chances yet. It's 32 minutes now. Maybe they're trying to play a short passing game in those circumstances or something. We need to look at more of the match. Streaming time significantly. So maybe I'll do that off stream at some point. But not in this case. So the opponent didn't create any chance at all. Our hard tackling and stuff didn't matter either. Yeah. I think we can be happy with that. Just got a phone call here. I'll call back later. Probably after that match. Okay. I think we can be happy with that. Very happy, actually. That's a good long ball. And he took the free kick. Okay. Well, it's in a dangerous position. Well, who knew he was dangerous? Sometimes that's how it goes. First chance, what can you do? I mean, in our squad there's who could have man-marked him? Ytterhogdals not able to keep up with him. Flaggard is, well, physicals wise, but mental or technical, no. If we get out with a draw out of this match, it's still a very good result. Who knows? No, I was just going in my head about maybe the first half we'll see a repetition possession-wise, but they have none of the scoring for them. That said, they seem to have found a few spaces now. Rarely, but they do. That should be the fullback, right? No, it isn't. Never mind. That's great. So Ytterhogdals is looking a bit tired. bad defending. Great dribbling. And that could be offside. No, it isn't. Oh, that is in the second time. Fantastic. Great save. And really bad defending along the way. But he doesn't look tired per se. But I think we can replace him in the spirit of match practice. And Ytterhogdals we already mentioned, so let's put Vikberg in here. Where's a new guy? Goma here. Robertson made his goal. Well, we can give Kulafic a few minutes. So I want to see the result going through. At least one of them was motivated. That's a tight one. And considering the matchup, it would be great to win this one. Always the penalty. That's just sad. So, to be fair, it was also giving an instruction to me. Giving the instruction to tackle hard. It's just something that happens. Also, it's probably a good idea to get him off the pitch anyway. I think my replacement is Björnsson. I always have to look. Yeah, it's Björnsson. Because Björnsson and Bergman, I just don't get them differentiated. Well, maybe we can feel Arberg here. Giving the instruction to shoot a bit more, right? With 13 long shots, maybe he scores a screamer. Maybe. It's unlikely. Great. Okay. They're not creating much space here. And the ball again. Still not creating much space. Yeah. Saw that cross from deep coming a mile ago. It's a bit sad, because if they had centered the ball a bit more in midfield, maybe Abel could have taken a long shot. So, who's left? Oliver Swan. We'll put in Björnsson here. I'm reluctant to give Boob an occurrence already, with his injury not fully recovered yet. Actually, I will take it slowly for him afterwards too. Well, Riemann wants to stay here, so why shouldn't he play for a few minutes at least? Same for Farah. Ekman, I won't switch in. Dobra for Talander, Bergman for Skilermo. And Ngoma can make his appearance. Here we go. So there's Arsason left. Are you able to play ball-winning midfielder? Well, barely. Yeah, in a usual match situation, I wouldn't do that. Also, we have with Wickberg, we have one central defender that can play ball-winning midfielder, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, should be fine in this case. And if we lose it, well, so be it. Also, considering the rain and stuff, I'm not sure how many people showed up for this match, and we're paying a fee for it as well. So it might be possible that it's a net negative after all, but we have to play pre-season matches at some point. And there's a lot of teams that don't generate income at all. The stadium would be entirely deserted. One could argue that's a sure bet, because we only play our staff and not play our wages in that case. No sausages to buy and none to sell either. But obviously I'd like to get some supporters in at some point and to generate some income. That's a really eccentric decision. I would have much preferred if I touched that ball. That was our option. Even if it worked, this one time. But generally speaking, I'm not a fan. For a moment that looked like it could get really dangerous, but great dribbling, especially considering the opponent. Or maybe they are complacent, I don't know. Let's have a look. Well, they're frustrated by feedback, whatever it is. Yeah, but considering expected goals, you can be happy with the result for now. To be honest, I didn't expect it. moving the ball, not trying to win the game. I imagine that's how most of the game. How most of the game was. Alright, so we rotated a few of the players in. Generally speaking, we're progressing, and actually not being defeated is great. So I'm fine with that one. Exactly, they labeled to draw, as did we. Alright, that's it for the moment. I'll go on a break, maybe stream a few minutes later this evening, maybe an hour or two, I don't know. Depends a bit on what my girlfriend slash management has in store for me. And yeah, either that or tomorrow. For the moment, I'll call my mom because she called me, and you always call your mom back. Always. Anyway, have a nice day, everybody, and until next time.